Hello everybody, myself Dr. Dipankar Mallick, Assistant Professor, Department of English, BN College. Today I am going to discuss with one of the poet of America, that is Robert Frost, and especially with a particular poem which is very much famous and is known to everybody, Stopping by Woods on a Snow Evening. But before that, I am going to say something about his career or about his background. Now you all know that Robert Lee Frost, he was born in California. After the death of his father, the family moved to New England province. There he stayed with his grandfather for many days. His grandfather had a farmhouse there. He worked with his grandfather for many days, but he was not interested in working out there. So he thought to become a poet. From the very childhood, he was interested in writing verses. So he wrote some verses and went to the American publisher to publish it. But during that time, the American publisher gave least importance to Robert Frost. So they ignored him and he took a decision going to England. He crossed the Atlantic, took his family out there, and there he met Ezra Pound. Now we all are well aware of Ezra Pound. Ezra Pound there had helped him to publish his poem in England, and his first volume, which was A Boy's Will, A Boy's B-O-Y apostrophe S W-I-L-L Will. And we all know that he is a great poet in terms of lyrical writing, as well as a poet of nature and humanity. And today we are going to discuss about one of the most celebrated poem of Frost, that is Stopping by Woods on a Snow Evening, which was published in a volume called New Hampshire in 1923. So before discussing, I would like the students to keep in front of you the text of this particular poem, which will be very much helpful to you because I will be going analyzing each and every line so that it may help you. So let's begin with the poem. As we know that once he was going in a horseback and he comes to a particular position in a forest and he was wondering. Let's start the line. He says that whose woods these are. Woods means here indicates forest. And he's saying that whose woods these are, I think I know. It seems to him as if he know the owner of this particular forest. His house is in the village though, as if the owner of the house, he stays, the owner of the particular forest, he stays in a nearby village. And our poet is well aware of that. And he's thinking that he will not see me stopping here. That means our poet is standing out here, wondering what to do and what not to do. And he's thinking that the owner will never see him that he's standing out here to watch his woods fill up with snow. That means all the woods, all the forest has been totally filled up with snow as it was a wintry day. But he was having a horse with him. So he says in the line, my little horse must think it queer. Queer means a type of strangeness or unusualness. His horse is thinking that why my master is standing out here to stop without a farmhouse near? Because here and there is no farmhouse. It seems to the horse that as if the master has or is making a mistake staying out here. The master must go. Or it seems that the horse is saying or indicating or giving a symbol to the master that master, why you are waiting out here between the woods and frozen lakes, because there is nothing out there to stay, no farmhouse and nothing. The forest is full of woods, full of trees, and each and everywhere the frozen lakes due to the chill winter, or you can say the cruel winter. All lakes had been frozen, and it was the darkest evening of the year. As it was dark, so the horse is thinking why his master is waiting out there. But he gives his harness bells a shake. So the horse is gives a harness bell a shake. Harness means like a set of straps put around the horse to control it. So it seems like the horse is giving a shake to his bell, and this harness bell is giving a signal to the poet that as if you have made a mistake standing out here or waiting out here, because there is nobody here, there is no farmhouse near, and nothing else here and there, to ask if there is some mistake. Again, it seems to the horse that as if the master had made a great blunder waiting out here. The only other sounds out there, the sweep of easy wind. There is nothing out there. The place is totally isolated. The place is totally desolated. Only we can hear the sound of the easy wind. That means the cold breeze of the wind, the gentle breeze of the wind, and the downy flake. That means the fine and the feathery flakes of snow which is falling out there. That was the thinking of the horse. But here, in the next stanza, our poet makes everything clear. He says that the woods are lovely, dark and deep. He says that the forest is very much lovely, the landscape is very much lovely, and he is enjoying the landscape like anything. But but I have promises to keep. But he loved that place. He wants to stay out there. He's enjoying. He's delighted. But even then, he got to go there because standing there cannot help him. If he delays out there, there may create a loss of problem. And the last line, that is last two line, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. That means he's saying that why to stay here then? No doubt, I am wandering this place, I am enjoying this place, but I have to go, miles to go and miles to go before I sleep. Why sleep? What does sleep indicates here? Sleep here represents death. That means that before that he has promised lots of people, he has got lots of achievement, or you can say he has got lots of aim to fulfill in his life. So he said that miles to go before I sleep and miles to go before I sleep. That means before that he got to do lots of work. That I want to say you one thing, that this particular two line is like it's a favorite line of our first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. It was always in the stable. Before sitting on his table, he used to see that those particular two lines, and because he was a fan of Robert Frost. Now, the the main thing is that what we get about this poem, like Robert Frost has got a quality, like his poem begins with delight and it ends with wisdom. Like when we started the poem, we find all the delight, all the pleasure, like snowy woods, the lake has been frozen. But the last two line, that is the concluding line or the concluding part, it gives us a wisdom, that is, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So we have gone through the text. Now I will just summarize you this particular poem so that it becomes very much clear to you. Like many of the poems of Robert Frost, we know that they begin in delight and end with wisdom. And the same poem here, and stopping by woods on a snow evening, is an example. The poem describes a wintry landscape beautifully, and we get delighted by the sight of the landscape in a snowy winter evening. The setting is woodland, away from the village. It is winter, and the time is evening. Snowflakes fall to cover the leaves and branches of the trees, and the ground beneath. The lake of the side of the woods had frozen into a field of ice. The poet stops his horse for a moment, to contemplate upon the sight, which brings him to an insight into the purpose of life. He realizes that just as nature fulfills its purposes, he has to fulfill his purpose in life. And to achieve it, he has to go a long way before he can rest and before death overtakes him. So this is the summary of the poem, and I have already discussed the text of the poem, but I want to say you one thing, that sometimes the question comes like that, like we also find some autobiographical touch in his poem. Like sometimes question is also asked about, do you consider some of the poems of Robert Frost are autobiographical? Yes, the answer is yes. And we can give a beautiful reference to his another poem. Like you see, the last two line or the conclusion line, it's an autobiographical touch with his life. So we can give another ready reference so that the particular poem, stopping by on a snow evening, okay, uh, snow evening gives a touch of. Okay, now, so let's discuss about another poem, that is The Road Not Taken, which I was talking about. The Road Not Taken, it has been published in Mountain Interval in 1916. So here also we are going to find some autobiographical touch or autobiographical element of Robert Frost. So I think you should keep in front of you the text so that it is going to help you out. So let's start the poem or analyze the poem. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. That means the same thing here. Robert Frost was in his horseback and he comes to a particular point, and from there he saw that two roads has been diverged. Diverged means bifurcated, or you can say divided. In a yellow wood. Why the wood is called yellow? Now we all know the wood represents forest, but yellow, it seems that the heat of the sun has fallen, or the scorching heat of the sun has fallen on the forest, and the forest itself seems to be yellow as it was the autumnal time. And sorry, I could not travel both. So being a single traveler, he cannot travel both the roads at the same time. So he have to choose one of the roads and looked down one as far as I could. So he saw the first road till his eye reached the last point of that particular road and to where it bent in the undergrowth. That means he saw the road and that road got bent under the bushes. That means from that point he cannot see the road. So he saw or he judged both the roads at a same time from that point. Then took the other, that means going for the second road, as far as just as fear. That means he saw the first road. The first road seems to be very fair, very smooth. He was interested to go through the first road, but when he saw the second road, he is claiming for the second road. That means he rejected the first road and having perhaps the better claim. That means he is claiming for the second road because it was grassy and wanted wear. As he was claiming, so he gave some excuses that he is saying that the second road is much more grassy than the first one and it has been wanted wear. Wanted wear means that means less number of traveler has passed through the second road. So he is eager to go through the second road and rejecting the first road. Though as for that, the passing there had warned them really about the same. That means like the same number of traveler has passed through the both the roads, but even then he is choosing or he is having an option for the second road. So that is the choice. Now we all know that choice and decision is one of the most important thing in one's life. If you choose a wrong path, if you give a wrong step in your life will be ruined. The same thing here, we are getting an autobiographical element out here. He didn't choose the first road. That means the first road indicates America and the second road indicates England. He had a decision, a nice decision, and he opted for the second road. And both that morning equally. That means on that particular morning, both the roads were in the same condition. In leaves, no step had trodden black. As I said you, it's an autumnal day. It's an autumnal day. All the leaves had been become dull or reddish, and it had fallen on the ground. But not a human step had fallen on those leaves. So it seems that our traveler is the or our poet is the first one to travel through the second road. Oh, I kept the first for the another day. That means he kept the first one for the another day. That means he has opted or he has chosen the second road. I doubted if I should ever come back. Now he is saying that if I return, that means he is going to take the second road. But when he is going to return, he is going to take the first road. It seems that he will have experience of both the roads at the same time, while going one and while returning one. Now here again we are going to get the autobiographical element. That means going to England through the second road, and when he will be coming back, he will be coming through the first road. That means returning his homeland, that is America. Now, the last stanza, I always said you that his poem starts with delight and ends with wisdom. So the last stanza, he's saying that I shall be telling this with a sigh, S-I-G-H. Sigh means a great relief. That means whatever experience he had while choosing both the roads, he will be saying this thing with a great relief to his next generation. That means somewhere ages and ages hence. That means he will have or he will share the experience with his next generation what happened on that particular day and why he has chosen the second road and rejecting the first one. Two roads diverse in a wood. He will say to his the next generation that two roads diverged. Again, I'm saying the meaning of diverse, that is bifurcated. Two roads bifurcated in a wood. And I, he's saying I, that means he himself. And I took the one less traveled by. That means he took the second road and went to England. And that has made all the difference. She is saying that I opted for the second road and that has made all the difference in my life. That means he is talking about his poetic career. If he should have stayed in America, his poetic career should have been ruined. But what he did, he chose the second road. That means choice, decision. I always said you, like decision and choice is one of the most important thing in one's life. So he's saying that again in the last line we are finding wisdom out here. He's saying that that has made all the difference. Difference means that means a difference in his career. So if you have any question to ask me, you can ask, like regarding frost, regarding this particular these two poems, the stopping by was on a snowy evening, and also like road not taken. If you have any query, you can ask me. Thank you.